Hello everyone, welcome to LBS Academy. Today we are going to discuss economics MCQs based on previous year UPSC questions as well as some practice questions. Through this series, we will cover important topics on economics for UPSC exam. So let's start our session. Our first question is, devaluation usually causes the internal prices to, options are fall, rise, remain unchanged. Here the answer to this question is option C, that is remain unchanged. Devaluation is a deliberate downward adjustment to the value of country's currency relative to another currency. Since it is relative to other currency, so internal price remains unchanged. It causes a country's exports to become less expensive and imports more expensive. Devaluation is a monetary policy tool used by countries that have a fixed exchange rate or semi-fixed exchange rate. It is often confused with depreciation and is the opposite of revaluation. Here, devaluation is reduction in value of domestic currency by the government under fixed exchange rate system. It is a deliberate effort. But depreciation is decrease in value of domestic currency due to market forces of demand and supply under flexible exchange rate system. Next question is, in the middle of 19th century, which of these factors pushed cotton production in India that later gave a fillip to the textile industry? Options are Organization of Cotton Supply Association in India by British, American Civil War that broke out in 1861, construction of the first railway lines in India in 1870s. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option C. That is American Civil War that broke out in 1861. When the American Civil War broke out in 1861, a wave of panic spread through cotton circles in Britain. Raw cotton imports from America fell to less than 3% of the normal. Frantic messages were sent to India and elsewhere to increase cotton exports to Britain. In Bombay, cotton merchants visited the cotton district to assess supplies and encourage cultivation. India was seen as a country that could supply cotton to Britain if the American supply dried up. India had a suitable, favorable climate for cotton cultivation and cheap labor. Next question is, the supply side economics lays greater emphasis on the point of view of, options are producer, global economy, consumer, middleman. Here, answer to this question is option A, that is producer. Supply-side economics is the theory that says increased production drives economic growth. So, supply-side economics lays greater emphasis on producer, whereas the demand-side economics lays emphasis on the interest of consumers. Next question is, the consequence of Great Depression for India include, options are mass production of defense goods in India, that is incorrect. Collapse of prices of many food grains, that is correct. India became a net importer of precious metals like gold. That is incorrect because India became a net exporter of precious metals like gold. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option B. Statement 2 only is correct. First World War led to mass production in the US and lowered goods prices. With rising wages in US, consumption rocketed as people could afford more foods. But since 1929, the world along with US economy slumped into a deep recession. India was connected to global economy by way of imports and exports. Both halved between 1928 and 1934. Rural economy suffered more than urban economy. As international food grain prices collapsed, they declined in India too. For example, wheat prices declined by 50% in the same period. The price of raw jute had collapsed by 60% due to collapse of gunny bags exports. Peasants' indebtedness increased across India. Peasants had to sell whatever valuable they possessed. India became a net exporter of precious metals like gold. So here answer to this question is option B. Next question is, the price at which government purchase food grains for maintaining the public distribution system and for building up buffer stocks are known as, options are minimum support price, procurement prices, issue prices, coiling prices. Here, answer to this question is option B, that is procurement prices. The price at which government purchases food grains for maintaining the PDS system and for building up buffer stocks are known as procurement prices. MSP is a form of market intervention by Government of India to ensure agricultural producers against any sharp fall in farm prices. Issue price is the price at which shares are offered to retail investors in IPO issues. IPO means initial public offerings. Next question is, consider the following statements. In the state mode of distribution system, the state takes the sole responsibility of supplying goods and services required by the population with no payments being done by the consumer. That is correct. In the market mode of distribution system, goods and services are made available in the market, and on the basis of their demand and supply, their prices are determined in the open market, and finally, they get distributed to the population. That is correct. Which of these statements are not correct? So here answer to this question is option D, neither of them, because both the statements are correct. In the arena of the distribution network, we have three historically existing models, that is state model, market model and state market mix models. In the first type is shown in the first statement, that is state model is shown in the first statement. The former Soviet Union and Communist China being the best examples of state model. And second statement shows the market model. This was the distribution system of the capitalist economies of the whole of Europe and America. The third and the most prevalent mode of distribution is the state market mix model, developed out of experience of the state market systems. Next question is, which one of the following agencies of Indian government implements the price support system PSS? Options are NABARD, Agriculture Pricing Agency of India. Here answer to this question is option B, NAFED, National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited, or NAFED, is one of the central nodal agencies for procurements of 16 notified agricultural commodities of oilseed, pulses and cotton under the price support system. NAFED is registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act. NAFED was set up with the objective to promote cooperative marketing of agricultural produce to benefit the farmers. Agricultural farmers are the main members of NAFED. PSS is one of the three components outlined under the PM ASHA scheme. Along with FCI, that is Food Corporation of India, and state governments, NAFED also physically procures the oilseed, pulses and copra under the price support system of PM ASHA scheme. Next question is, which of the following statements are correct about GDP? Options are, it's a quantitative concept and its volume or size indicates the internal strength of the economy. That is correct. But it does not say anything about the qualitative aspects of the goods and services produced. That is also correct. It is used by the IMF or World Bank in the comparative analysis of its member nations. That is also correct. Choose the answer from the following options. Here answer to this question is option D, all of them are correct. The different uses of the concept of GDP are per annum percentage change is the growth rate of an economy. For example, if a country has a GDP of rupees 106, which is 5 rupees higher than the last year, then it has a growth rate of 5%. That means GDP has a growth rate of 5%. When we use the term a growing economy, it means that economy is adding up its income in quantitative terms. So it's a quantitative concept. It does not say anything about the qualitative aspects of goods and services produced. And GDP is also used by the IMF and World Bank in the comparative analysis of its member nations. So all the statements are correct. Next question is, who recommends MSP and issue prices? Options are Ministry of Agriculture, Planning Commission, Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, NABARD. Here answer to this question is option C, Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, or CACP. CACP is an attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. It came into existence in January 1965. Currently, the commission comprises a chairman, a member secretary, one official member and two non-official members. It is mandated to recommend minimum support prices to incentivize the cultivators to adopt modern technology and raise productivity and overall grain production in line with the emerging demand patterns in the country. So here answer to this question is option C. Next question is, the base of consumer price index for industrial workers has shifted from 2001 to options are 2020, 2010, 2012, 2016. Here answer to this question is option D, 2016. The Labour Bureau has been compiling and maintaining the consumer price index for industrial workers since 1944. Thereafter, the series were revised on different phases, that is 1944 to 1949, 1949 to 1960, 1960 to 1982, 1982 to 2001, and then lastly from 2001 to 2016. The new series of base 2016 has been effective from 2020. These indices measures the relative changes in retail prices of fixed basket of goods and services consumed by industrial workers over a period of time. The consumer price index numbers for industrial workers are utilized for regulation of wages and dearness allowance for millions of workers and employees in the country. These indices are also used for measuring inflation and other policy formulations. So here answer to this question is option D. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, share and like.